the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Memamo akwaba bimba Nsem-Pii TV so. Ghana man penny His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. Ana asaye na ade ni biem. Ne 99 ADS no. Papai asa kan ho wasaye biem. Nana Akufo-Addo edi Nsem-Pii koto udwa abra United Nations. Eshia na Nana Akufo-Addo gina Nsem-Pii so di Nsem-Pii tudwa se. So ba abibremu ha ahokyira ewo ha. Sitruba Ghana ha ese economy no atosin. Oko this Nigeria the same thing omoka. South Africa, even South Africans the same thing omoka. Ahokyira ewo Africa so abibremu ha no. Emfiri obia omomrofo no ana ama ahokyire aba Africa so. Ana Nana Akufo-Addo chim say colonial masters emre bi atwam mo mrofo mo ba ebedada ye nananom ebesesai natural resource bi say gold, bauxite, timber ekoi no manfa emua papa bia ansa amre nananom eno ana ama ahokyire aba Ghana ha ene Ghana kwa Africa titulu Ghana nene Nana Akufo-Addo say o kachire omomrofo ne say omusan twa omani na omna abibrem no meboa Africa titulu ne Ghana na Ghana Africa ahokyire wa ha yi pa na Nana Akufo-Addo gina Nsem-Pii so no kasna femrofo ne bom sem pa timse na Nana Akufo-Addo nsem na oka no akomutrim yi pa na mesebepi because penifo se ka kumuhi ejine kokwenum mesese ebeko ne akoti Nana Akufo-Addo His Excellency Nsema odeto mrofo no
Omampani Nana Addo Akufo-Addo wode Nsem-Pii atudwa na de oka ne se ehwa Ghana for yesi yebre economy ni nkoyie Nigeria for kansem kro no a South Africa obia kan bi man de obia ka no why investigation kakra wo hwe ni nyina de obetun aka ne sa aborofo no wo mu na ama yebre wo se bibini bia wo bre bia no ye broni ya fe kire gongonfo yi wo mu na ama yebre na sasa ni bia de kotudwa United Nations wo mu ahia wo mu nhyiamu de toso adioso enwotwe nhyiamu na ase no wo kire se why nhyiamu no hunu se na nanom bajimbre no broni dia hwe ba no abese gold no de ko abrewa ankokora wo hwe nanim wo hwe afi ne se o se wawe besina ne se kokoro no wo hunu da obehunu agise nsuo mu na nani tie yi a wanya ade bi ani hyen wo de hwe nanim anu wo hunu na kese nani agesa enti ma ye ne je ya wo hunu ne sa se kwakuma nu krata no sini mfa so mfa ne nko no a che no wo mo de ne ko ye na ko ya akoa ne ama na hwe ebi wo ho a ye mana different champagne bi ni ade ye tu ano na epupu ayese motia bi okohunu nsafufu ohunu ade no se ohwe ade ne se eja bi ani ase ade nsu huru na motia ne dimirika wo dwane motia wo hunu nsafufu ti ase motia o mu chiri nsafufu kokoko abrofo no abrom beto ye no de omode ye no wo fa ade bi a ye hunu bi da wo atwa ye photo obehu ano ade bi na se wo hunu nua na sresre wo se no ene asisa ye timber ye good ye bauxite ne niam nyina ade ma wo so man twom ani anhye da amwa ye papa ya ne ye kobre ya do hwidifuo ebo a wo nti world wars awudo nyina ya ne yekom wo still wo man hye da amwa ye papa wo se no ena ama ye economic woes no aye bebre kura tututu yen a ensika se mi ehunu ano no colonial masters no wo se ye moa.
And the world should not pretend that the present-day economic and social conditions of Africa have nothing to do with the historical injustices that have fashioned the structures of the world. It is time to acknowledge openly that much of Europe and the United States have been built from the vast wealth harvested from the sweat, tears, blood, and horrors of the transatlantic slave trade and the centuries of colonial exploitation. Maybe we should also admit that it cannot be easy to build confident and prosperous societies from nations that for centuries have their natural resources looted and their peoples traded as commodities.
Enti nanado o se womba ye loot womba se saye natural resources no bebre no omode koye ti womu lutu yen papa ya ka so obi lutu a je se wa sesa aprapra dan mu hwa fa Yesu picture kora bo dem ho de aka ho ne aka ne se wa be lutu ho o se abrofo na lutu yen natural resources no e de ko eno echi no wase de asie nyina no ase wo munyo madwen so mbagya tum so mu na ma ahia yen wase eno kra na ohunu na etwa ne nsunu mu no wase munyi ntum mu na ma na ahia yen momra meboa yen yentumi ensan ensi yadada mu bio.
For centuries, the world has been unwilling and unable to confront the realities of the consequences of the slave trade. But gradually, this is changing, and it is time to bring the subject of reparations firmly to the fore. Granted, the current generations are not the ones that engaged in the slave trade, but that grand inhuman enterprise was state-sponsored and deliberate, and its benefits are clearly interwoven with the present-day economic architecture of the nations that designed and executed it. Reparations must be paid for the slave trade. No amount of money will ever make up for the horrors, but it would make the point that evil was perpetrated, that millions of productive Africans were snatched from the embrace of our continent and put to work in the Americas and the Caribbean without compensation for their labor.
Enti ebusiafo Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Kwaku Willie.
Na brof na yede.
E ba ku bi sinchen no sign patch everything. Won say Nana dey much of the difficulties. And Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. What didn't say man to John. Ebusiafo yanku yanim na say na kiki na eketwa kakra.
On say kiki ni dey men young one. On say we different. O ba ku bi tuntum bi pa ho. En your sha be ka say 10 minutes one.
Okay.
We fata no so.
Yeah, na we no say o color blue ni bi wo.
Blue ni kakra wo chi background na fe.
Yeah, o ma
so. Ana matade na reflective.
Debi you matade na sa na tie.
Na mi say matade na reflective.
Na anabia blue bi da na ring so.
No say ni kicking we around or round we wo ho. And no was a square when be end your shine na say oh Nana ye guy. Nana ye.
Ebusiafo enti Nana Addo Akufo-Addo na say say what the brofo awe UN for no a ombo mu nsem pra ti say discover ba dia na na ye twa wo ba wo mam na hia yen je kakra bra ye ni na ye nkwahia fa kakra bra yen sa na wanyina achi no Ghana yakobu nkonta o wo mu akenkan nipa hwehwe Ghana yen sika sem ne ho ne ma ahodo statistical service foi wo mu akenkan e de ne ma ho ahodo bi abeto dwa kire say o se de eya GDP no wo he Ghana yen sika da ho ne yen kai da ho ne ye tonton ye nyina sika ebenya ne ade no ase ye ko yanim kakra wo mu si yenyini small boys and girls and afi aduane bo nso se de o hwa na ne bo eden no ase sei aba fom kakra enti no wo mu hwe mo hunu se good news kakra fine wo mu say food inflation sei first na nke 55.0% say aba 51.9%. na say aba fom kakra fine aduane bo no enti hwi ne mom eswat kakra small crocodile e di abadan ho enye no nko a wo mo san kire say inflation ba ko nso no cry de himponi a inflation ankasa generally eno nso a drop kakra from 43 ababedru 40%. Nti inflation no ase niema bo aden ni sika dodo ananka first ye carry di koto ade ketua bi no se de okuta sika dodo a oto ade no nso na adoso kakra ti no nso anyi kakra ekonanim a ti wo mu nkontabuo no mu a no mo de cheche no se Ghana economy no ya record 3.2% growth as ya kuyenim kakra April June and November all the rest of 31 we April June kwa wo mu se no nso ya kuyenim kakra compared to so the asset young share down bio because o compare your record 3.5% 2022 and a record 3.3% 2023 a year asset anyway with the yanko tie Professor Enim Nenchiremu a wode ye aban enkontabu for Professor Samuel Kobenanim echechiremu kakra.
Net indirect taxes, which is the difference between indirect taxes and subsidies, amounted to 13.9 billion for the second quarter of 2023. From a seasonally adjusted point of view, the second quarter of 2023 recorded a value of 45.7 billion for the second quarter of 2023. From a trend perspective, this is the second consecutive This is the second consecutive time that we've seen a slowdown in the quarter-on-quarter GDP in the last 3 quarters, peaking at 1.0 for the third quarter of 2022, slowing down to 0.8 for the first quarter of 2023, and further slowing down to 0.7 for the second quarter of 2023. From a contribution perspective, given that the economy grew by 3.2% for the second quarter of 2023, this growth rate was largely led by a contribution of 1.42 percentage point for information and communication, followed by crops and cocoa 0.97, mining and quarrying 0.48, and the last of the 5 subsectors that contributed to the 3.2 growth rate that we recorded for the second quarter of 2023 were health and transport and storage, which contributed 0.39 and 0.3 percentage points to the 3.2 growth rate that we recorded for the second quarter of 2023.
Abusiafo enti ene de agu ho no brofo akese na eba ne say ya san na ebesi aye na breaking it down kakra kakra yankwa na wo mu aben ewo analysis mu fasikasem ho yewura Kofi Bentafo yene no eni enkomo aja ati anka yemwadwo anwumre
ya mi na abejo se
yada sepa nso ene wo bre ne wadage eba ne figures say no a na aye ni so ngongonai but the aye can say say Ghana economy no etumi expanded by 3.2 was second quarter emu 2023 enti o check ya ye koye nimu a eno achi inflation so etumi a drop to 40% from 43.1 and now ye no to nchen food inflation aduane bo eno nso etimi a decrease abedru 51.9% first na gina 55%. We na yankwanta edibiri ani so anase ye de ensase ye mbotomu a ye hunu so adanse efise mo de figures ba enu a wotie me sa bredi ohwe ane se obenya sika anya do bonto bi de ahye ndodom sa masa ne de a inflation figures ye so nhye da nimfa so we na good news ana
Udika
Angel FM.
Say you can bro na ke sa ke se tu na ya na ti a se ni fun san so no ko na ehun ni bi sa se se yo kai yo si ni o ma bo se de guru no ya de bu me twa mu agasi ye to ho a abafom enti obi a be sisi pe ene se ti am ko jo aso na me papa dia o sa dia mi tu dia ne bo ni se so ehai na getting fair and just and kasa say ansani e be ka nyoma bo nyina costo 43.1 40.1 e nyoma ho bo bi ni ya ka bom ena ni nyina nkan fuwa no ye say won bo costo ni ka nyoma bo nyina wo mo ni mo costo a ye de afidie etoto na frase ehi entity said ye ba no eti 40.1 atie ni